The mystery of the four angels of spirituality. Welcome, beloved. I saw in a vision the rapture of the church, and I saw many people in white garment around me. The angel revealed to me that these innumerable people from all over the world were people that were supposed to rise thanks to my ministry. However, these people only rose in an altitude of 2 meters and they were left behind. I was puzzled. I wonder why all these people were left behind. I said in my heart, I preached the end-time message and sound doctrines to all these people. I was in regret for only few people were rising towards the heights. The angel of the Lord said, these countless people that you saw gathered around you in white garment are people that were supposed to rise thanks to your message, but they could not go further. They failed to climb to heaven, and they have stayed for 3 reasons. These people were in the church but they did not consecrate themselves totally. They failed to live in a total alliance with the Lord. He continues to speak and he said, the third category of the faithful who came to the church, despite everything they did not seize the opportunity to develop high spirituality. Since the rapture is done in spirit, the believer who has a weak spirituality could not be sucked up. When the angel of the Lord talked about spirituality, I did not know what he meant. After this rapture experience, the Lord sent his angel to explain to me how to develop the spirituality of the church so that they will be able to be rapture. I was in tears to realize that despite my messianic ministry and sound doctrine, the great majority of people of my ministry were left behind. As a result, 4 bright angels appeared to me, and each one of them gave me a principle of high spirituality, how to become spiritual, how to have a high spirituality in order to be rapture in the sound of the trumpet. On that day we were in a prayer meeting with brother and sisters, when suddenly I realized among us there were 4 shining angels. They were dressed in garment of the purest white, were not touching the ground for they were suspended in space. These angels were very eloquent when they addressed me. I have written everything in order to transmit literally their revelation about spirituality. There were 4 angels in our church on that day, and each of these angels revealed to me specific revelation about the spirituality of God's children. The first angel told me, you heard that there were people appearing in the Old Testament. These people were not human, they were angels in physical form. Since the day the Almighty decided to make us what we are, He gave us a form so that we will be able to sneak into humanity so as to communicate with human, for our specificity is to work with human. We are your companion in the service of the Lord, the closest. In spite of this, we have been very far from you, but in the beginning it was not so. The spiritual reality for which the Almighty has resolved to give us this form, is so that you can have a representation of us. Spirituality is often when we come to speak to you in dream, and when He come most people think they were dreaming, failing to realize that they are in contact with us. People that speak to you in dream is us. The Lord has made available that dispensation in order to bring spiritual things into your perception. We are going to explain to you principles that will astonish you. Many have missed the rapture in the last experience because of failure to grasp this principle. When the spiritual takes shape, it is for the sake of incarnation. When men design machine, these apparatus may resemble one another, but they become different when you add new capacity that give it new functionality beyond the original design. This is the same principle with spirituality. Spirituality is charisma. It's a bit paradoxal. Spirituality begin in humanity when a human being understand that he has to develop sacredness, in which his body will be set apart. It is at that moment that spirituality begin. The moment you decide to set your body apart for consecration in fasting, prayer, spending time in the presence of the Lord, reading the word, that spirituality begin. That's when you become spiritual. This dedication, sanctity and consecration will impact the body, which will transmit the message to the inner man. As a result, the spiritual faculty of your body will become activated. Consider your body as the starting point. Your body, when it is set apart, dedicated and consecrated, become the starter of spirituality. But humans have inversed this principle, and they expect spirituality to happen to their body, ignoring the fact that it is their body that produced spirituality. It is when men set themselves apart in consecration, dedication and devotion that they generate spirituality. The prerequisite is when you offer your body as a sacrifice to the Lord, as it is written in the law, For the Apostle Paul your brother told you this mystery, but no one understood his language. Note: when you offer the member of your body as a living sacrifice, you are rendering a cult to the Lord. This is called the cult of the body, which is the cult of offering oneself to the Lord on the altar of the cross. It is the cult of the offering of the body. It is when you render the Lord this cult of offering your body and consecrating yourself that the faculty of the spirit being will become activated, and you become spiritual. Whenever you crucify the flesh, when you mortify and slaughter your body in the altar of sacrifice and immolation, your spirit senses and faculty will become awaken. This is the first principle of spirituality. Men have gone far to seek high and elevated things, yet everything begins with your body that must be set apart. It must be sacrificed and consecrated in piety and devotion. Spirituality is when your body becomes the temple of the Almighty. Understand that your spirituality is first and foremost the body that must be slaughtered on the altar, for the body, once it is consecrated and set apart, you attract us, the angels of spirituality, and we work with you. However, when the intensity of your sacredness, devotion and consecration become low, we work from the outside, but your daily devotion and piety give us the possibility to work in you and use you. When you immolate and slaughter the body, we come in to animate you and to develop the faculty of your inner man. We only work on human faculty to develop it. That's our domain of operation. We work in your intelligence in order to sharpen it. However, we have been in unemployment for thousands of years, because of the way you use your body. When member of your body are staying, we cannot operate. The angel said, I open parenthesis to talk about the laugh of babies. We are the explanation of the laugh of babies. They are innocent. They have not seen or heard anything. We are the one who communicate with them, telling them grow up quickly, grow quickly, so that we can guide you. But the more the child grow, the more he turn to evil, and our unemployment continue, until the day of baptism, when they commit to the Lord and we take over their body made sacred by the water of baptism, for they are reborn and made sacred again through the new birth. And when we enter, we activate the function of your spirit. God children have spiritual function, and spirituality is when your function are activated and sharpen, in order to communicate with the celestial world. That's when your spirituality take height. The angel said many were left behind because of they have low spirituality, and in order to have good spirituality you need to live according to the spirit, killing the action of the flesh. Whenever we deprive the flesh from its desire, our spirituality goes up. When we live according to the spirit, we destroy the work of the flesh, refusing the demand, the desire and the order of the flesh. Spirituality according to the angel of the Lord is the deprivation of the flesh. In order to rise when the trumpet will sound, one have to be spiritual, which means crucifying the works of the flesh. Romans 8 verse 13. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die, but if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. A sin that is a mistake is no longer a mistake when it become repetitive. When David fell in fornication, in his prayer he said, Lord, I am formed from dust. But after this prayer we saw that David did not fall again. When you fall in sin, you lose your virtue. When you fall in sin, you must ask yourself why you have fallen, so that next time you take measure, for when you fall you lose your spiritual dimension. You're gonna need to practice your devotion again in order to regain your spiritual position and dimension. It is a strict observance of daily devotion of prayer, Bible reading and service that enables you to regain your position, and our objective. We operate in the function of spirituality. We have received instruction to enter your life and to use your function, and when we enter we look at heart, which is your ability, your speech, your brain and your intellect. That is why we take human shape. It is the testimony of your function. We work on men and our purpose is to perfect men functionality. God children have function that they ignore, and time has come in the name of this dispensation for you to discover your function for the objective. Moreover, men have 5 senses. However, without the work that the Lord sent us to do, the senses of your organ will remain natural. The consecration, sacredness and dedication allow us to sharpen your functionality, to make you understand things differently, so that you can be better servant. When you practice the cult of offering your body, and when you consecrate yourself and you sacrifice your body, your spiritual function get activated and your senses get sharpened. You do not need another sacrifice to raise your spirituality, for your body is the sacrifice to be offered, in order to activate spiritual functionality of your body. That is why we said spirituality is your body, which is the available offering for slaughter and immolation. This is a secret. This was the message of the first angel, that was based on the cult of offering and slaughtering the body in dedication and devotion for the sake of activating the function of the believer and to sharpen our senses. Brother, my understanding of this angelic revelation is that, to sacrifice the body means you are in the world but you live a priestly lifestyle, opposed and segregated from the world system like the Nazarene. You are in the world but the things of the world is of no interest and no attraction to you. You turn your back to the world and its pleasure and entertainment in order to wait on the Lord. This is what we mean to be set apart, to withdraw from this world. This is the sacrifice for excellence. In this first part the angels are claiming, demanding and asking for our body to be sacrificed and consecrated so that they will work in us. Whenever the kingdom of priests defile their body with sin, they prevent the angel of spirituality from sharpening the function of the inner man and the organ of their five senses. Thanks to consecration and the offering of the body, the five senses of God children including their intelligence and speech get sharpened and they become able to see and hear beyond the limit. When the angel sharpen your vision and ears, this cause the activation of the gift of spiritual vision. But stain and defilement of the body and sin bring down of spirituality of God children and we become carnal. Christian fall in sin when they fail to keep their devotion and their duty, when they forgot who they are and they think they are like those of the world. Since we are set apart we cannot act like everybody. 1 Peter 2 verse 11. Beloved, I urge you, as foreigners and exiles, to abstain from the desires of the flesh, which war against your soul. 1 Corinthians 9 verse 27. But I keep under my body, and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Romans 12 verse 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by